Hey everyone, welcome to a fun little art vlog. I'm setting up here and I've been into a lot of watercolor recently, especially with trying to finish the sketchbook. You guys have already seen me do the sketchbook tour for it, but this is some footage of when I was trying to finish it, and watercolor was just the easiest thing for me to do at the time. I didn't have to get out too many materials or have a difficult time like finding references of what to draw or inspiration. I could just easily pick up a water brush pen and just start dipping into the colors and just go. So that was really fun to do because of how simple and easy it is to do with the watercolors, especially with these super awesome brush pens, which I have figured out how to use. If you remember in the product review video where I tried these out for the first time, I had a hard time trying to figure it out and I just went on to use paintbrushes instead. Well, I figured out how to use it. You basically just keep squeezing for the water. You don't have to keep rincing it out. The water kind of washes away the color. So just painting this greyhound dog, I guess. I'm not sure the breed. I don't know all the dog breeds and stuff. But yeah, I thought to use unconventional colors so that it's bright and fun. And I'm just using different purples and shades of purples to try to match up with the shadows and highlights as best as I can, just by looking at the reference. And a metallic yellow background. I started using these metallic colors more often because I haven't used them and I thought that they were not as bright, but just turns out I just needed a ton more water than I was using. So you have to get these metallics super wet to get those colors and the shiny part of it. They kind of have a glittery kind of thing into them. Just fixing up on some of the details a little bit after it dried and doing some stars with this candy hot pink in the background, and just keeping it simple. And then I did some kind of shading with some darker yellows, all same metallics, just to add some shadows to where the dog is sitting. Yeah, just very simple design. And a few days later, I went back to the art store and got a new carving block for my block printing. And these are the ideas that I want to go with. And if you saw my last video where I tried this for the first time, I'm basically repeating the same process using my tracing paper and just tracing my drawings over and just making sure that I have nice clean lines so that when I transfer it, it looks perfect. But I did need to repeat the process for this pigeon because I messed up transferring it to the carving block, so I had to redo that. But I also have this star burst kind of design here, and then a simple kind of fun stationary paper clip. I don't know, I thought that was interesting to do. And then getting my block printing kit out, and I just put the new one in here. This didn't come with two of them, it only came with one. Anyway, and I also got this ink pad. I had to tape it shut because it's not secure. And then I just quickly transferred it just to this new block. And when I messed up on this, I peeled it away too quickly instead of taping it down so it wouldn't move. And then I tried to fit it into the right place and I just couldn't. It looks blurry, so I was sure that it wasn't going to get clean enough lines with it, so I just separated them all and just did it on the other side of it instead of wasting that whole block and using a new one. So this is the back of it, and I'm just making sure I emphasize the parts that I didn't want to carve inside of, like the pigeon feathers and the kind of background that I wanted to keep, and I began carving. This is so satisfying to do. It is very easy to overdo the carving, especially if you're a beginner like me and you could just go for hours. I probably spent a really, really long time carving because I just wanted it to be as clean as I could without taking too much of my design away, because once you carve, it's not going to grow back or anything. It's gone. You're looking at the little piece that you just peeled off. It's gone. So just be careful with carving. This is my first intricate design. If you saw in that video, I made really simple stars and a ladybug, which was the most difficult thing at the time. And now I'm moving on up to some intermediate design here. This pigeon with some kind of background. This looks like a print on its own, so I thought that was cool. And then I switched just to a wider carving knife, I guess, so that I can carve faster and more of the block instead of using the tinier knife to carve really tiny details. Just switch on the knives that you're using so that you aren't wasting so much time taking out the really tiny details when you could be doing it faster and using larger knives like here, where I have a lot of negative space that I want to get rid of, and I'm just using the big knife for that. I finished the rest of that off camera just so we can speed this up, and I painted a couple pages on my mini sketchbook with my blue paint marker, so this looks really scratchy and stuff. It's just from a thin paint marker, and I just wanted to quickly cover a background because I want to use this white ink pad, and I can't do that on my white sketchbook pages, so that's why I painted on the page, and I binder clipped it together so that the pages wouldn't fly around. And I started stamping my first design. Whenever you finish carving and you finally see it all inked up, that's when it's really starting to work. You're wow, it actually worked, and you're just so surprised that it fit and it just came all together. It can be really difficult to figure out at first how it works with the carving and the ink. It's hard, especially when you're drawing it and then you transfer it and the image is mirrored. I made sure that I liked what the mirrored image looked like, and by doing that I just took a photo of it and flipped the image, and then I was okay, I would be fine if this was flipped. But yeah, this is me just finishing up on inking, and the star came out really cool too. I can already see some parts where I can fix everything on the star and on the pigeon. I'll probably stamp that again later, but for now, this is the original. I did clean it up a little bit on the side on the actual block after I wiped it down, but that's how this is looking. It kind of blended in with the blue, so it looks like a lighter blue instead of white. I don't think this paint was very dry when I did this, but yeah, I've already pointed out some of the mistakes that I needed to fix up. Some of the line work and the beak kind of got lost in some of the feathers, but I think it looks so cool. Let me know what you think. All that watercolor was so fun. Let's paint in my new sketchbook. Let's do a full sketchbook spread with watercolors. These are the drawings that I did, some portraits. One you might recognize is the actor Pedro Pascal. I feel I also tried these green undertones, as you can see, and the green was just way too yellow and it turned out really weird at first. I tried to cover it up as best I could with a skin tone color. I attempted drawing and painting him because everybody's always he's so easy to draw, and then there was this trend of artists trying it out, and on the other side of that, people were saying that Zendaya is hard to draw, and people were trying that too. And just eventually in my drawing, the face and the likeliness of him just disappeared. Unfortunately, I did have a hard time drawing him. It was difficult for me to draw him. It wasn't as easy as everybody said it was, which is probably why it was difficult for me, because I had that expectation that it was easy. But it did look like him for a little bit, and then it just kind of got lost a little bit. I got lucky with how my brush ended up here, though. After using it a lot, the bristles just sort of separated in a really cool way, and it just made it easy to paint hair and like with the brush strokes, and it really worked with the facial hair as well, like the eyebrows. I typically don't draw men. I just think women are easier to draw, and I always try to get out of my art comfort zone and challenge myself and try to draw men every now and then. I'm pretty good at drawing my boyfriend, though probably is because I see him every single day. Pro tip, if you're an artist in a relationship, you can use them as drawing references all the time, or you could also take photos of yourself and use those, or ask your friends to. In art school, we were like told to use real references instead of finding them online. That's not always easy to do, and so if you want to try to get out of that, you can take photos of your friends or your family. You could also take photos of yourself if you're too nervous to ask them. Nobody has to know that it was you. Obviously, if you're drawing your face, yeah. If you're doing like a pose or using your hands, always take them of yourself, because I think that's the easiest way to actually get what you're looking for. If you're looking for like a weird specific pose for whatever you're doing, you can take them of yourself. But yeah, anyways, we're finishing up some of the like base down for this other portrait, this girl with like really cool like red wavy hair. You guys know I love to paint and draw wavy hair, and I had a lot of easier time painting this person as well, just because of their feminine features. It's just so much easier for me. I don't know what it is. Probably because I have them, and it's just easy to convey that into art. I don't know what it is. And then I did the very lightest details. I'll get back to it with some colored pencils at the end. And I decided to do a bright blue background, and to make sure to leave all the other drawings that I had here. I have like a bunch of bows and stars. I'm going to paint those with different colors, and I'm just completely painting around everything with the blue. And something really crazy happened while I was doing this. It's going to be a little loud because I had a space heater on, but just watch. So I don't even know how that big blob of blue got there. Luckily I had a tissue nearby from fixing some other paint before this, and just picked it up as fast as I could and just tried to paint over it. You can still see the blue, but I don't know, it kind of adds to it a little bit, like a little shadow or something. But I thought I ruined the painting again, first with the green and then this big blob of blue. Oh my goodness, such a weird day. And then I finished the bows with some like metallic-y pink colors, and I tried to do some shadows with I guess like a hot pink color. And then I also did some yellow stars. I tried to make them look like they were shiny. I don't know, it kind of looks weird because the yellow blended with the blue, and it's really green, and it wasn't dry, and so my paint marker wasn't working as well, but I think it looks okay. And then I finished up with colored pencils on all those details. Hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing, leaving a like, and comment down below. Thank you again, and also a special thank you to all my patrons who've joined my Patreon. Check it out, and the link is always going to be in the description now. I have exclusive content and digital rewards available every single month, so check it out. And I will see you next time. Goodbye!